I get bummed out when I have to master something.
Yeah,
which happens more than you.
Yep.
I think, but it happens,
Yeah, so do
being
I.
in a smaller city and lower budgets and stuff.
Yep.
But it is what it is. So I actually, maybe this is like random, but so you're mixing records that you're not producing also. So that's just kind of in between the records that you're doing. Like you're doing like you do like say a week with the band and then a week mixing that record, and then you have like, I don't know, a few days and then you do some mixes.
Yeah, like I have a band that's coming in tonight. I'm mixing their full length record. And they have a couple different vocal things that they want to redo. And they were just kind of like, they recorded everything themselves. But now that I've kind of done the first mix and for one of their songs, they're kind of like, actually, we just want to come track vocals with you. So they're coming in tonight to track vocals. And then I'm going to mix that record tomorrow and Wednesday and get that out to them. But yeah, there's a record. So to kind of give you an example is end of April, I'm working with a band. We're doing a 3-song EP, and I'm going to track them and mix them. And then starting like May 4th, I'm doing an 8-song record of just mixing it. So I told them, I was like, they have a deposit in for me to mix the record that week. And I said, hey, I need all the files by this date. And they're wrapped and ready, but that's when I'm scheduled to mix their record. Is that first week of May, and it's 8 songs. So, I'm going to be mixing it for about, anywhere from 4 to 7 days, just depending on stuff like that. And it's start to finish, drums, going to do the whole works to it. So,
yeah, got it. So you're really like scheduled in and you have to keep to your schedule because you got people down the pipe.
Yep.
Do you have any like tools that you're using to stay organized? Any like, I don't know, like how do you stay on top of your game?
I mean, really, it's just a lot of, the iPhone calendar and just making sure. And now, Nick from Panorama, who
introduced us. Yeah.
That dude is so efficient, and I'm so jealous.
Yeah, he's like CRM'd out, and he only checks his email at a certain time of day.
Yeah, I like, and I love working with him, and I love chatting with him. But yeah, he has all of his. Like, I remember we did a Instagram video chat, and I had to go through this online process to book it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, this is super cool and super professional. I was like, but yeah, I'm just a little more like,
old school.
Like, I booked a band this morning. They called me. They were supposed to take a weekend in July, and I told them, I was like, oh, hey, when you get me your deposit, give me a call and we'll get you booked in. And they finally got it, and the weekend they were shooting for already got booked. So I said, hey, I can do this next weekend. And, for me, it's just, an iPhone calendar and, get it set up and go from there. So I wouldn't say I don't have anything crazy like that. Just, what's my schedule look like? So
nice. I love it. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot for me to learn from this episode. And I think I'm just inspired by the fact that you're working with bands and just doing it like, booking time out and just really spending the time to be with that band for that period of time. And I've kind of been working on a more like hodgepodge, well, especially this year, but just in general, like, come in for like 3-hour session, and then we'll touch base and we'll do it again in a week. And it's just like, I'm realizing that does have like a tendency to kind of drag things out. Whereas just finish it while you're inspired and just do it and be with, be with that artist for that period of time and be with them fully. And then they move on and you move on, and then you'll come back when the next record happens. And I'm inspired by that. And I love that. It's a great takeaway for the audience. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to ask you. I love it. This is a great conversation. I do want to ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah.
That I kind of just ask most people before we wrap it. The first one being like, we all have like days where we're less inspired than others. Mm-hmm. Do you do anything either when that happens or just in general to stay inspired and creatively fresh?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love golfing. Golfing is my, cool. One of my interns asked me, he was like, if you could get paid the same amount of money you get paid right now being a music producer, mixing engineer, but you could play golf, he's like, would you do it? And I was like, that's hard. I was like, because I love being in the studio. But I love playing golf. Like if my schedule allows it, man, I will play golf 2-3 times a week.
Damn.
And like I will try to get out before, I'll book like in the summertime, like the 6 a.m. tee time, and, be done by 10:30. And then I got the whole day to mix, work with a band or whatever. But yeah, golf is a big reset for me. It just gets me out on the course. It's, 3-4 hours of by yourself or with your buddies. So that's a great reset for me. And I always tell people, it's just like, you can get so burnt out in this industry. Like,
Oh, yeah.
take the days off. And I used to be like super, like if a band would be like, hey, can we get this? And like, I would be like, oh, okay, I'll stay up till 2 a.m. to get it done. But it's just like, unless it's like a really like dire situation where the band absolutely needs it, a lot of times I'll be like, no, I'll get it to you tomorrow, or I'll get it out.
You're good at setting boundaries.
Yeah. Like I'll get it to you on Thursday or Friday, you know what I mean? And, but younger me would be like, oh yeah, no, I'll work a 10-12 hour session working with a band, and then I'll work on your mix and get you a mix out. But that was, like I said, when it was like, oh, I got band A, B, C, D, that I'm all working with. But nowadays it's a little easier, and like it's sometimes I'll finish a record like a couple days early or something, and then I have like 3-4 days of like nothing to really do. And sometimes I have moments where I'm like, am I doing this right? Like I have 3-4 days off of like doing nothing, but then I'm like, but wait a minute, like no, because next week you start an 8-song record with a band, and you're going to be in your studio for the next 9 to 13 hours a day with this band. So yeah, resets are key, man. And I always tell people, is like, you got to refill the well. Is as much as being an artist on the side of being a songwriter, being a mixing engineer, like I've learned now, it's like, if I'm not in my zone or not feeling creative, I shut down and I'm done for the night. It's
Right.
like, it's not going to help me. It's not going to help the band to try to force a mix when I'm not feeling creative or I'm not in the zone. So younger me would be like up till 2 a.m, trying to make it work with my ears fried. And then the next morning I wake up and I'm like, this is complete trash. Like,
Yeah.
so now I'm just like, no, I'm done. I'm done for the day. Cool. I'm going to hang out and,
Good on you, man. Good on you.
do something. But golf is that's my big reset. I love it. And I'm really pissed off that we just got 7 inches. I'm looking out one of my windows, but we just got 7 inches of snow, and I'm just like, that delays golf for another, like.
I'm like, dude, you're in Colorado. Go skiing. That was my reset when I was like younger.
No,
I
and
haven't-
actually,
obviously I don't go anymore, but there's no snow in Israel, or actually it did snow this year, but man, I missed that. I missed the snow, dude.
yeah, actually, believe it or not, too, snowboarding is one of my resets as well. It hasn't been this year because this is the first year in about 8 years that I haven't gotten a pass. With COVID and everything else this year, I was like, I didn't want to justify spending the money on a pass to, not be able to use it the way I want to use it. So no snowboarding for me this year. But
Well, it sounds like you
that's
get
okay.
outside in general, so that's good.
Yeah, so. But it's supposed to be in the 60s all next week. So I'm just like, yeah, let's get some golf going. I'm ready.
Nice, dude. Yeah. So just one more question before we wrap it is, I've asked this question to everybody on the show is, when you were at the beginning of your journey, was there something that you maybe did or didn't do that was like, you weren't aware of that you'd want to impart on, your younger self? Hey, this is like a move that you should do, or you did this right, or maybe you didn't do this right, or I don't know, something that you would want to impart on the listener who's maybe more at the beginning of their journey.
I mean, I think I think everyone is where they're at for a reason, and we could talk about like, life's purpose and stuff like that. But I think certain things happen for a reason.
Please tell me.
This
is the year of nihilism for me. So
I know, it's just like, I think everything happens for a reason. Certain situations happen to your life and put you in a place to respond in the way that you're supposed to. I think my biggest thing is like, if I could tell younger me, is just like, just be patient. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Longevity is the biggest thing that I always tell bands is like, hey, we are here for longevity. Like, you want to be able to keep doing this. You don't want to be hot for like a year or two and then fizzle out. and it's the same reason why I've seen studios come and go, throughout Denver. I'm just like, oh, new studio. Like, all right, competition, yes, but there's so many bands to go around. It's just like, if you're not booked, you're just lazy. But, younger me would just like, I remember, I call it gear geeking, where you get the Sweetwater catalog and you're just like, oh my gosh, like this preamp, this compressor. And it's just like, everything happens in time, and just be patient and go through the ropes, go through the cycle of all of it. So,
love it.
Yeah. And, and I have to remind myself all the time. It's just like, it's like, I want the big room and the big facility. And I look at guys that I look up to, and I'm just like, man, like they got I think my studio is awesome and I love where I'm at, but like I see studios where I'm just like, oh, that's the big facility. That's sick. And then I have to take a step back and go, that dude's 56 years old. Like,
yeah,
I'm 31. Like, you got time. Like, slow down.
Patience.
Keep doing the small things correctly. Work with the bands. Make sure your experience with the band is spot on, and the rest kind of just takes care of itself. So,
yeah, love it. It's a great perspective.
Yeah, and
the perspective of perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just
the greater picture.
If you would have told me, intern me, almost 10 years ago, like, hey, you're gonna have ATCs, like, and I don't mean to like just be like, oh, I have AT, like, I love these speakers, and these are like, I wanted these speakers for so long, and I finally got them, and it's just like, younger me would be like, that's unattainable. You're never gonna get that. So. Because I used to look at it the same with mic pre's. I'm like, oh, like these mic pre's are so expensive, I'll never get to a place. Because it's like, you record bands for $100 a song, or $100 a project, and it's just like, it's not obtainable. But as you grow and just keep pushing and keep growing, it's like anything in life. So
yeah, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and breathe. That's what most people forget.
Good. Thanks for the reminder.
So, yes.
Totally. Wow, Taylor, what a pleasure to meet you and get to schmooze with you. I really learned a lot and am inspired by a lot of what you talked about today. So, yeah, how could the audience find you on the internet?
Yeah, so most of my handle stuff is just Hahn Audio, Instagram, Facebook. HahnAudio.com is a great way to check out, my website, any of my current discography stuff that I have that has come out from bands, Instagram, social media. Just I have it all. So.
All right, perfect. Well, I'll link you up in the show notes and people can check you out. Taylor, thanks so much for coming on the show. What a pleasure, dude.
No,
I hope you have a good one.
It was an honor to be on here, man. I absolutely love what you're doing and what you're doing for
Thanks,
the music
man.
community, man. So keep it
Thank
up.
you. Wow.
So.
I'm trying.
No, man, I think you're doing great. So I love it.
Cheers, dude.
All right, man.
Take care.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Secret Sonics. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Taylor as much as I did. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our other episodes, I'd super appreciate it if you would go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review. It really helps the show. And if you could share this episode or your favorite episode with a friend or two, that would also really help the show move forward. In addition to that, you can find us on social media. Just search for Secret Sonics. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And you can email me at secretsonics@gmail.com if you have any comments, feedback, guests you might want to recommend, anything like that. So that's about it for now. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there and dig in. Bye-bye.